Tonight we're talking about how to get in the best shape of your life. And it doesn't matter if you are over 40, over 50, or over 60. There are ways to do it. So my name is CJ Johnson. My background is in the golf industry, had a phenomenal career inside of golf, loved it, but by the time I ended that career, all I was doing was working and I was out of shape and very unhealthy. At age 38, I made the commitment to make some changes, and at that point in time, I lost over 100 pounds, and I've managed to keep that off now. I am 54 years old. So I started a business, Age Well with CJ, to help other people just like me over the age of 40 who want to look great, feel good, and age their best. That's what I'm here to do, is to help you to discover the answers that have helped me and continue to help me to do just that. So tonight we're talking about getting started exercising or upping your routine, because I know that a lot of people that follow me already are exercising, doing well, feeling great, but you probably want a little bit more, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So a question for you: have you ever started something and you either got so sore or bored, or it's just found out it wasn't for you, that you were done in a couple of weeks? If that's the case, give me a little thumbs up down below. Put something inside of the comments. Let me know if you've tried something like that before, because I definitely know that I have. I go through phases where I try different activity, because one of the great things about doing different activities is that will contribute to an overall healthy you and a healthy being. So it's one of the reasons to try it. But there have been times where I've picked something and it's been the wrong thing, or I've gotten bored. Sometimes on occasion maybe gotten too sore. But and I'll show you what sore looks like, because I have to tell you, when I started out, that is what it looked like. That is what I look like. When I told you I weighed over 250 pounds, that's me at age 38. This is me at 54. So I think I'm doing a little bit better. At least I feel better about it. So if that sounds good to you, we're going to jump into this and we're going to get started. And I know that there is one big question that people always look at, and what are the keys to getting into the best shape of your life? And there's a few things we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the keys to fitness. What are they? And there's 5, count them, oops, gotta have my hand in the screen, 5 different keys to fitness. How to get started, or how to get more serious. Perhaps, like I said, you're already working out. Then how do you stick to it? And really, how do you maximize your day to reap the benefits of exercise? Because exercise doesn't always have to be just going to the gym. So the first question that's often on people's mind is this, and it is and I'm sorry, I got a little tech happening, but I'm going to make this work. I got to figure out a way to get me out of this shot here so you can see this. There we go. Okay. So one of the questions that I get often asked is, do I need to go to the doctor? So I'm just going to tell you, here's what WebMD says. Although moderate physical activity, such as brisk walking, is safe for most people, health experts suggest that you talk to your doctor before you start an exercise program if any of the following apply. So we've got heart disease, asthma or lung disease, diabetes, kidney disease, arthritis, you're being treated for cancer, or have just recently completed a cancer treatment. So what I would say to you is this, is if you have any doubts, if any of those things apply to you, it's worth it. Go see your doctor, do a little health and wellness visit, and make sure that you are ready for physical activity. Okay, so that's number 1. That's the disclaimer. So now, what kind of physical activity should you be getting ready for? Let's see. So there's 5 key areas of fitness. And I talked a lot about this on a show. It was the very first show that I did, October 31st. I'm going to put a link down below. It'll be in the description, in the video description. But I talked about these in detail. So there's 5 key areas of fitness that we want to look at. One is body composition. And that's not just about the weight on the scale. It's about the fat versus muscle percentage. The next one is cardio. That's probably what most of us think a lot about, is how well is our heart working and how well is our heart doing. The next one is muscle strength and muscle endurance. I group them together for some specific reasons. Other people kind of keep them separate, but if you go back and you look at that show, I get into detail about it. The next one is flexibility and mobility. And of course, as we age, we tend to get less and less flexible, which can mean we're at greater risk for injury. The other thing that occurs as we age is our balance tends to get worse. That's another key area of fitness. Now, during that, I went into detail during that show. I went into detail. I also gave you a link. So really now there's going to be 2 freebies in here. I gave you a link to a health and fitness test that you could take for each one of these 5 areas. And it's age-based. So it'll tell you based on your age where you're at. Are you at target? Are you slightly above? Or are you slightly below? If you're not doing any exercise program, this is a great place to start. Find out where you are in all of these different areas. Now, we're probably not going to start an exercise program and put all 5 into at one time. At least I can tell you from my personal experience, that's not how I started or maintained a program. I started one at a time, but at least you have a baseline score. If you are working out, you need to know what are you doing well and what do you need to improve at. We're creatures of habit, and frankly, most of the time, we do the things that we do well. I don't know about you, but that's one of the things that I definitely do. We do the things that we do well. So if we're really good at cardio, we tend to maybe not do as much on the flexibility or on the balance side. Or if we're really good at lifting and we're very strong, maybe we don't do enough on the cardio side. So listen to that show, download that link, give yourself the self-tests. They can be done in just a matter of probably a half hour. You can knock that out and you will find out where you're at. And that's going to help you to get started, because if you're going to get in the best shape of your life, it needs to be all 5 of these areas, not just one. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the second thing we're going to move into is how do you get started on the right program? And I really think that there are some questions that you can ask yourself, because here's the deal. If you enjoy exercise, you will do it. If it's drudgery to you, if you don't like doing it, it's hard to do it. It's like starting an all broccoli diet and hating broccoli. Okay, why would you start that kind of diet? You're doomed to failure. It's the same thing for exercise. Yet sometimes we get so stuck in that we think exercise is only going to the gym, or that's the only place where it can serve you. So here are some of the questions that you can ask yourself. So first thing is this, is working out at the gym what you want to do, or are you better off being outside? It's hard to see that picture, but that's a picture of hiking. Being outside in Tahoe, that's one of the things that we love to do around here. Now, perhaps going to the gym is convenient for you. Maybe it's close to where you work. Maybe there is one where you work. Perhaps you can only do a workout very early in the day or late in the day, which eliminates, especially in the wintertime, getting outside and doing something outside. So maybe the gym is the only place that you can get a workout. Maybe it's outside, asking yourself, what is it that you enjoy doing? What do you like doing outside? I recently had a client, her and her husband for the holidays bought each other skates. And they live down in San Francisco, and they have started ice skating as a regime to, as a fitness regime, a way to work out. Another thing around here, it's wintertime. Oh, we've had this little snow issue, but that's a whole nother story. It's wintertime. and it's winter in a lot of places in the country, how about getting outside and doing some snowshoeing? That's a great cardio activity. In fact, one of the things, snowshoe racing has become very popular around here in the last couple of years. Talk about a phenomenal cardio workout. It combines the benefits of running as well as being on a pair of snowshoes. Seriously tough. Another thing is dancing. Have you always wanted to learn how to ballroom dance? How about taking some lessons there? So ask yourself, is it inside? Is it outside? And don't be afraid to think outside of the gym. Okay? Our next one is, more questions. You see here hockey and skiing and what's going on around you. What are some of the things that you could do a little bit more often? What's happening? Check out your things to do in the newspaper. Google top 10 things to do in your city. It may bring up some workout ideas for you that you haven't had. Another question to ask yourself is, do you prefer doing things in groups or do you prefer doing things by yourself? If you like groups, there's there's clubs for everything. There's running clubs, there's meetups. That's one of my favorite things. I'm going to put that link down below for you. But there are meetups of every different kind, and most of those are free. Here in Tahoe, there's a hiking club with over 5,000 members, and they have hikes going on all over, all during the course of the year. Even when we have a snow up here in Tahoe, they hike down in the Reno area, which tends to get less snow. So meetups is a great place to find other people who enjoy doing some of the same things you're doing. Perhaps you're just a loner. Maybe you're the kind of person who can do it by yourself. You can get out and put on the shoes and go running. For me, I love to work out at home, in part because of the convenience. One of the apps that you've heard me talk a lot about is I use an app called Fitness Blender. I'll put a link down in the show notes with that as well. But I use an app called Fitness Blender that I put it on a calendar, stream it in, and it's fantastic. So now that you've kind of found out what are some of your things, maybe you might look at doing something different. And when I say what are some of your things, sorry, I kind of cut myself off there. When you look at your 5 key areas of fitness and you find out that, hey, I'm doing really well on the cardio side, maybe I'm a runner, I'm doing great there, but my flexibility stinks. Perhaps you need to add yoga in. Want to take it to the next level? Maybe it is a boot camp, something like that, where you're really, boot camps tend to be a little bit more competitive and highly competitive people. You find people who are looking over and looking over here saying, hey, I want to do better than this person. So that can be something to motivate you in a serious way, especially if you're already working out. I don't recommend boot camps for the beginner. If you are just coming off the couch, one of the great guides out there is MyFitnessPal has some wonderful beginner guides to help you to get started. So if you are really new to fitness, you might want to consider walking first. In fact, walk, then walk, run, then a 5K, then a 10K, then a half marathon, then a full marathon. Those are the ways that we take steps in our fitness so that we don't get hurt. When I first started this journey, I started walking. That's all I did, and I did that for about 3 months until I built the habit, because that's really what we're starting to talk about, is building the habit. Once I got that, then I started working out with a personal trainer. I met that person at the gym 3 nights a week. Excuse me, 3 nights a week for several years. I met that person at the gym. I got into the habit of doing it. Then I was able to finally build that habit and do it myself. That's why I can work out from home. If you haven't built the habit, working out from home and doing it by yourself may not be the best idea. If you're new to this, I'd probably recommend taking some classes, using a personal trainer, getting a fit buddy, and those types of things. That will help you to build the habit. Another thing that you can do, excuse me, sorry, I got a little tickle going here. Again, turn a walk into a run. Visit that personal trainer. Even though I am a personal trainer, I still check in with a friend of mine to help him look at my fitness routine so that I can see if I'm doing the things that I need to do so that I can be the well-rounded athletes and hit those 5 key areas of fitness. So what are some of the things that you enjoy doing, even if I didn't mention them? If you're, go ahead, put it in the comments down below. What do you enjoy doing? And I'm asking that, and so give me just a minute. All right. Perfect. Excuse me, before I go on, I'm going to take one more little sip of water. I just have to say, if you see this, this is not soda. This is my Soda Stream bottle. I have a carbonator, bought that a few years ago. What a great way to get a lot of water. I love carbonated. I don't necessarily like regular water. And this for me has become a fantastic way to drink more water. In fact, I drink a lot of water. So, okay, so now we've tested your fitness and we're talking about finding some of the things that you enjoy. How exactly do you stick to your plan? Well, there's really 2 things. And I've spent a lot of the last 2 weeks, our first episode on the 2nd of January was all about goal setting. And it's important to put goals up there for your activity as well. How many days a week? What are the types of things that you're going to do? Go back to that show. Look at how to set goals. It's important. As an example, one of the strategies that I cover talks a lot about rewards, non-food rewards that you can attach to your goals that'll help you to attain them. Another thing is that accountability. I mentioned it just a few minutes ago, but having an accountability person. So go back and review that particular show. Again, it's from the 2nd, and I'll put a link down below. Another thing that we talked in detail about is planning. You got to put this into your schedule. I don't care if it's eating healthy or exercise. In order to build a habit, it needs to go into your schedule. Every single Sunday night, I sit down, I spend about 10 minutes. I plan out what are my workouts for the week, what's my food going to be for the week, when am I working, where are all of my commitments, and I also covered that in detail in that show, so just go back and take a look at those 2 shows. But you need to goal set, and then you need to plan, because I can promise you this, if you don't write it down, if you don't make it a priority, you're not going to do it. We're human beings. We're wired to do the things that are in front of us and the things that we plan. So make sure that you go ahead and that you give it a plan. The next thing we want to do, though, in sticking to this is once you've set the goal and once you've made the plan, now you really need to make it easy. Make it easy to do. Do not give yourself an excuse to get off the hook. So one of those things can be pack your bag. If you go to the gym early in the morning, even if you don't go to the gym early in the morning, pack your bag the night before. That way, if you wake up late or something goes on, something happens, you can grab your bag and boom, you are out the door. Let's say you're a walker or you are a runner. Leave your running or walking shoes and clothes right by the door. Then there's no excuse. I have to go into my drawer. I have to find it. I have to get something. Get a buddy or a dog. If you are one of those people who said, CJ, I love working out outside, can't do the gym, just can't handle it, consider a dog. Now, there's a lot of other considerations that go into adopting a dog. That's a family member that you're bringing in, and you need to very carefully look at that. But getting out with a four-legged friend is really good for your health. A few years ago, I was running on the beach down in Monterey while we were on vacation. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I came across an older gentleman, and he was there with his husky. I stopped to ask if I could pet the husky. He was just such a beautiful dog. As we were talking, the older fellow told me that he had retired about 8 or 9 months ago. And at that time, his family bought him this dog because all he did was sit home and watch TV. And he sat home and watched TV, and he was putting on a lot of weight, and he was not very healthy. So the family bought him a dog. And he said, at first, I was so angry because it didn't matter if it was rain or shine, the dog wanted to be outside. He said, I had to take the dog for a walk. He said, well, now I've lost 40 pounds. I love going outside with the dog. I don't watch much TV anymore, but see how that habit changed his life. And he also said he got to meet a lot of people just like me who liked the husky, who would stop and ask if he could pet and pay attention to the husky. So he got some socialization as well that he probably wouldn't have had if he was sitting at home. So ask, if you don't have a dog, how about a friend? Have you got a friend who's doing some workouts at the same time? One other strategy, and this is probably one of my favorite strategies, I call it the just 10-minute strategy. I am sure, I know I've had those days, I bet you've had those days where you just don't feel like it. I just don't wanna do it. Do it for just 10 minutes. Tell yourself, you know what, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna do it for 10 minutes, and if after 10 minutes you don't feel like doing it, make the promise to yourself that you will stop. Now, I do that, and I do that fairly often where I think, oh, I just don't want to do this. This just doesn't fit in right now. But lo and behold, after 10 minutes, I'm into it. My head has now joined my body in the activity. So try the just 10 minutes. Again, we've got our fitness test. We found something we enjoy, and now we're planning it and we're trying to make it easy. So how do you make, just going to check the comments here, how do you make it easy? How do you make working out easy for yourself? What do you do? Do you pack that bag at night? If you do, give me a little thumbs up down there in the comments. All right. Okay, so now our fourth and in our final thing here is how to maximize your day. So too many times we think, gee, I have to go to the gym or I have to do this. You can get a lot of extra steps inside of your day. How about walking meetings? If you're meeting somebody for lunch, go out and walk after the lunch hour. If you're meeting a friend for coffee or a colleague for coffee, how about walking with that coffee in your hand? Another great one is a treadmill desk. I have a friend who built a desk for his wife. He got a treadmill at the local thrift shop and created this whole desktop on top of his wife, or on top of his wife. He created a desktop on top of the treadmill for his wife. How about that one? That's a little bit better. And she keeps it at a very low speed, but it's something that keeps her very active. Frankly, science is telling us that sitting at your desk is the new smoking. So anything that you can do to be active. If you're out and about, how about parking further away from your destination? Whether you're out shopping or grocery shopping, you're at the office, as long as it's safe, park further away from where you are, from your destination. Those are just some of the ways, stop, and if you take public transportation, you take a bus, how about getting off one stop early or one stop late and then walking back? That's a few extra steps for you. Anything that you can do to get some extra activity into the day, into your day. We've talked a lot about fitness bands. In fact, I've done a couple different shows on fitness bands. The thing about fitness bands, to make them work, is they can't just record what you've done. They have to challenge you. So if you're normally used to taking 10,000 steps every day, the way that you're going to get more fit and build the exercise habit with that fitness band is to make it 11,000 steps, and then 12, and then 13, and then 14. So you continue to graduate and move on up. So that kind of brings us to, those are the keys to getting into the best shape of your life. Take the fitness test, find out exactly what your starting point is so that you can either start or improve the areas that aren't as good for you right now. Then get started or getting serious with it. I mean, find something that you really enjoy doing. What's going to be fun for you? What will you be able to stick to? And you stick to it by setting goals, planning it, and making it easy. And then lastly, look for all of those things that you can do to maximize your day. Now you hung out to the end. Here's the second freebie. You got that fit test coming in there, but here's the second freebie. Oh yeah, that's me. Again. You don't want to look like that. You want to keep up the exercise routine. And that's part of why I show this picture. When I look at that, I want to work out and I want to eat healthy because life is so much better in this size body than it is in that size body. I'm not sure I pointed to the right side of the screen, but you get what I'm saying, okay? So here's your freebie, the top 20 health and fitness myths of 2018. There are so many things in there that can help you to get past where you're at, to to really get on track, because you never know what's holding you back, what's making you sore. And I think you'll be surprised at number one, because number one on that list has to do with stretching. And a lot of us, we think about it how it was when we were kids. No. Science has completely told us that that's not right. So you make sure that you get this special report. You go to agewellwithcj.com/20 myths. I'm also going to put a link in the show notes down below. Now, next week, if you come back here, same time, same place, same station, but it's going to be January 23rd, I am going to give to you the best diet tips I have for people who are over the age of 50. That'll be coming up next week on this show. In the meantime, have fun. Get out there and do something, because you know what? Together, we can train smart, live bold, and age well. Have a great night, everybody.